What up, friends? Welcome back to Bendis. I'm just sitting here, warming up by the fire at my camp. Been enjoying my time here in West Virginia. Been out here about 150 hours now. Seen a lot of crazy things, but that's gonna be a review for another day. Today, I'm here to tell you some tips and tricks on surviving the wastelands of West Virginia. So, let's get to them. Number 1. So, there seems to be an issue with my armor. It's missing. Kinda. It's just in my inventory. However, there is an issue where I seem to have these awesomely large pockets. Now, this works with the calibrated shocks for for power armor, as well as pocketed items. It doesn't matter what pocketed item, as long as it's the pocketed item. So one thing you can do is rapidly unequip and equip the item to get yourself to this nice negative number down here. And once you have a negative number, you'll have an unlimited capacity, and you will never be over encumbered again. Except for the first time you log in, because obviously I'm carrying 1300 weight on me at the moment. I will say that this is somewhat of a glitch and exploit, and to just take advantage of it right now until Bethesda gives us unlimited stash size. I understand the reasons behind wanting to limit the stash sizes, just for the sake of pure quantity of data being sent to their servers, and for stability reasons. So until they can figure those out, just use this to get along. Number 2. It is always free to fast travel to Vault 76. So, I will say that if you need to travel back and forth between places on the east side and the west side of the map, it is always cheaper since it costs caps to fast travel to marked locations, to fast travel back to Vault 76 first before traveling elsewhere. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but those caps, as they may not seem important right away, become a little more important later on, depending on what you are trying to do. 3. Don't be afraid to venture out and meet new friends. This is Wise Mothman. He gives you a 10% or 5% experience buff. Actually, let's just look at it. Hit me, Mothman. Ooh, freebie. Wisdom of the Mothman. I get +5 bonus experience for an hour. This also stacks with the Well-Rested buff. Mothman is located at the Landview Lighthouse, which is just southeast of Vault 76. Well, there's an event called Path of Enlightenment. You have to finish that first. And then you get to meet Mothman. Bye, Mothman. Number 4. Be sure to follow the Overseer's journey. This will help provide you with food and water as you're starting out in the game by coming to the Overseer's camp, and every time you make it to an Overseer checkpoint, there'll be an Overseer's cache, which usually has food and water. Number 5. There are instruments that you can play, as well as beds you can sleep in. Use these to your advantage as they give buffs. So playing an instrument gives the Well-Tuned buff, which will give you AP regen +25. Sleeping in a bed will give you the Well-Rested buff, which will give you +5% to your experience gain. Number 6. So one thing that you want to be aware of is because of your small carrying size as well as the small stash boxes, again, use this to your advantage until they give us unlimited stash size, but as you're starting out, only grab things that you need. For example, if you are needing to repair your weapons or armors, some things that you need to look for will be aluminum, screws, adhesive, leathers, cloths. Everything else you can kind of ignore until later on when you actually need it. Steel you come by across very, very much. There is so much steel in this game, and it's just one thing to do. A couple of items that I will note if you are looking for items for repair, as well as maybe you want to build power armor. For springs, you want to look for clipboards. Clipboards carry springs. They're not super heavy, and you get get a lot out of them if you can find them. So remember to look in every nook and cranny. Aluminum can come in aluminum cans, as well as watching out for, I think gas cans and industrial oil cans and oil cans, which will also give you oil, which will be used for building defenses later at your base. Screws can be found in all sorts of things, like hot plates, the watches. No, watches give springs. Anyways, I would keep an eye out for lockets and watches, because they give springs and screws, as well as giddy up buttercups. Those give screws and springs as well. And desk fans. Desk fans are a huge one for screws, because you also get gears and steel. So look for those things and scrap them all. Tip number 7. If you want to be lazy about it and not want to go around looking for your junk items that you need, one thing you can do is take claim to workshops. Workshops will provide you with different things based on what workshops there are. So for example, if you're looking for junk, which will provide you with almost every type of scrap out there, you can go to the Charleston landfill. It's almost directly south of Vault 76. I suggest taking claim to workshops if you know if you're going to be on for a little while, because once you take claim to the workshop, you can freely fast travel between your workshop, your camp, and it is handy to just take claim because it takes time to generate the junk, which can be taken by putting down extractors on these veins here, as well as junk piles over there. Just go into build mode and place them on top. And again, after you've placed those, go out on your adventure, and then come back and collect your junk later. Tip number 8. Once you settle on a spot for your camp, make sure that there's water around so you can make purified water of your own. If you're afraid that players are going to come and steal your water, one thing you can do is actually lock your water. My suggestion is to lock it if you're afraid to lose your water, but only lock it with a level 0 lock. The reason being is you don't want to waste your precious materials on building the higher level locks when building a level 0 will suffice, because if a player comes and unlocks your water, they will become wanted, and you come hunt them down and take your stuff back. Well, take that back. You can't take water back, but you can take the junk. And the final tip that I will leave you is that there are 7 vendor factions across Appalachia. These vendors hold 200 caps each. As you can see, I've already gotten my 200 caps for the day from them. And they reset the moment you start that first barter with them. So within 24 hours after that, you can come back and sell to them 4 caps once again. Those factions are the Responders, the Raiders, Free State, Brotherhood of Steel, Enclave, White Spring faction, as well as 2 unique vendors that are linked. I will provide a link in the description below to the website where I found these as well. Overall, if you settle them daily, you can make about 1,400 caps before the reset happens. And those are some of Bent Disc's tips and tricks for surviving the wastelands of West Virginia. If you have any other tips and tricks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or if there's something you have questions on, feel free to leave that in the comments below as well, and I'd be happy to answer them. With that, good luck out there, Vault Dwellers. We'll see ya at the next one.